Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gooners Gone Wild podcast. We are back, and Sammy is making his season 2 debut tonight. Sammy
It's
is
his
back.
debut, his
It's his
first time.
debut.
Oh my God.
Sammy, what's going on, brother?
He's been on holiday.
Just like Ghost of Guard, I'm back out of nowhere.
Yeah, not this time around because that motherfucker's out for months.
Exactly. I won't be around for 2 months. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to drop a crazy performance this podcast and then disappear. No, I'm kidding, guys. I'm back.
Yo, that sounds
It's a lot of
exactly like
working and
Ghost of
a
God.
lot of working.
Sounds
All right.
exactly like him.
All
Slave
right.
capitalism.
That's crazy. That is so crazy. Anyway, we are here. Welcome back to our weekly podcast. We are talking about the Atalanta fixture happening tomorrow, technically today when this goes out, and the Man City fixture happening on Sunday. We'll start with the Atalanta. Obviously, we had Sammy's intro, but we're here with Coach Ari as well. And I'm your boy VK, and let's get right into it, lads. How are we feeling about? Let's start with something that is kind of just bigger than Arsenal for right, real quick. How are we feeling about the new Champions League layout? Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm very confused on this whole Champions League layout. So how are you guys feeling, Sammy? Since it's your debut, I'll let you go first.
All right, I'm going to just start. I've been on a side quest volunteering. I was telling Mark before we started at another nonprofit called Fossil Free Football, which aims to remove polluters as sponsors. And I think this whole format literally just does the exact opposite of more flights, more fan travel, and honestly, it's probably exhausting for the players. I think Roger came out in the news and said the players are going close to being on strike. So
That's
I
crazy.
don't know. This new format is just a cash grab, and even like the groups were fine. I just don't know what was wrong with the groups. Obviously, this is just to include more clubs, but obviously it's to make more money for UEFA
Exactly.
because that's all they do is try to line their pockets. And honestly, you're going to see more injuries, and I wish Gabe was here to tell us more about physical therapy stuff. But yeah, I mean, you've seen an uptick since more teams have started playing matches in general, but I think this will take it to a new level. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Ari, how about you?
I do think the format allows for a lot more interesting fixtures. Obviously, a lot more the ability for teams to play the other big teams earlier, um, without the possibility of being eliminated straight away. So I think it's good in the fact that it will allow more interesting fixtures to happen earlier on in the tournament. But I do share the same sentiment in that, uh, much like everything else, it's all about money, and they just want to have more matches for people to buy more tickets and to make more money. So that's all it is. It's more fixtures to make more money. And obviously that will have an effect on the players. They're already playing 60, 65, 70 fixtures a year. It's just gonna add to their workload, and Sigma said, we're just gonna see a lot more injuries. It's gonna start plaguing the players. I don't know. I don't know what the solution to that is. Like, if they're just gonna keep adding more um, tournaments and more games, you either have to increase the team size or add more substitutions. But there's no way that it's sustainable for 25 some players to be playing 75, 80 games a year because they're already playing the entire year round. So
Yeah, international tournament. Like I feel like there is no summers. I feel like there is no summers without football anymore. Which growing up and like going through college, we had like those summers where like literally nothing was happening. Like if it was not like a World Cup year or a Euros year, like literally nothing was happening. Now I feel like we have all these other international tournaments now that kind of satisfy our want for football, which is kind of like a good thing and a bad thing because like on the one side, like we always get to watch the sport that we love. I mean, we all bleed for soccer, we all bleed Arsenal, but when the international tournaments come out, like we always support like the U.S. or we'll support a big if it's the European tournaments, like we'll support a country that we align ourselves with. Um, but on the other side, I kind of miss being anxious for the season. You know what I mean? Like when those international tournaments
Yeah,
happen,
anxiety.
yeah, like when those international tournaments happen, we don't really get that like break. You know what I mean? Like I feel like the Euros happened and then the Prem started like 3 weeks later, and I was like, that went by quick. Um, so I definitely agree. I agree with Sammy in the fact that I think the groups were fine. I already didn't like the fact that they took away the home and away goals, and I think taking the groups away is just strange. I get Ari's point of more interesting fixtures, which I do agree with, but it's I don't know. It's like you said. I'd much rather have high quality fixtures if that means that there's only going to be 40 games per season versus seeing all of our players get hurt and seeing more substance. So I don't know. Just I agree with the money grab claim, and I agree that I just think it was unnecessary.
Yeah.
Um, so moving on from that, though, we will talk about Arsenal's Champions League opener with Atalanta happening technically today. So what do you guys predict this game's going to be like? Ari, I'll start with you.
Um, well, I saw we've never faced them ever in our history, so um, it'll be interesting to see how that will go down. But I was just telling you guys before we started the podcast that they have a lot of former Premier League players. They have Skamaka. They have who else was I mentioning?
Rui Patricio
Robert Patricio, Zaniolo, who was just at Villa. They have Ben Godfrey, who was at Everton,
and
um,
Kolasinac,
and our
Mesut Ozil's protector.
yeah, our fantastic Kababsinic. So, yeah, so they have a lot of former Premier League players, so they've played either with us or against us. Um, but I don't know. I know that Atalanta are currently eighth in Serie A, so they're coming off of 2 wins and 2 losses in 4 matches, I believe. Or no, that doesn't really make sense. Or no, I
That
think
does
they
make
have.
sense. That does make
No, that
sense.
doesn't make sense. Yeah, yeah. I think they only have. I forget how many points they have, but yeah, they're eighth place currently. So, um, I don't know. I think we should look to be the stronger side, but you never know with these Champions League fixtures. Like yesterday, we watched Real struggle against Stuttgart. So I feel like every team kind of has that. What's the word I'm looking for? It's like
That upset factor.
yeah, just the upset factor. There's something always unexpected to see from these Champions League games, and I feel like considering we've never played them and we're away, there are a lot of factors that could go into that, and we're also obviously missing Odegaard, which is very important to our structure and our setup. So um, I don't know. Anything can happen, but I feel like we should be favorites to win.
Mm-hmm. Sammy, how about you?
Um, I would say it's going to be a close game just because Atalanta in the Europa League final. I mean, that was last season, but stopped Bayer Leverkusen from going undefeated the whole season, and that was with I think it was a Lookman hat trick, right? Adama Lookman. I forgot who scored it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But to do that in the final, I think they do have a lot of energy and like they bring a lot to the table in general as a whole team. And I think that's something we'll have to deal with, especially their press. And I was pulling up stats earlier, but they've had like one of the best conversion rates in Europe for a team that's won. I think they scored 24 goals from open play last season and only one penalty. So I think it'll be a close game, but their form this season obviously plays a factor, and they haven't been doing too great altogether. So hoping that we can pull a win out from it, but I think it'll be a close one. And I think going into Champions League, like Ari said, you can't really underestimate anyone else as well.
Mm. Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. I agree with both of you. I think the Champions League, they just have those special nights under the Champions League lights. You got the anthem going on, everyone gets hyped. Um, the one thing I am very worried about is Atalanta set up in that very stereotypical Italian side like formation, very heavy in the midfield. They play three in the back. They have five in the midfield, or sorry, four in the mid. No, yeah, five in the midfield with two strikers up top. and which one of them drops back into midfield anyways. So that central area where we are typically very strong at is going to be very cluttered, and I think there's going to be a lot of reliance on Bukayo Saka or Martinelli or Trossard, whoever's playing on the wing. Sterling, we might see Sterling tomorrow, especially since Saka might be joining Odegaard in the injury list and the IR from this week. Apparently it's just cramp, but might be a good idea just to rest him for our first Champions League fixture. I think Sterling could get the business done. I think Jesus, if needed to play on the wing, could get the business done. But again, I think we're going to see a lot of creativity coming from the wings this time around, rather than the midfield. And I do think Jorginho, Declan Rice, and Thomas Partey might struggle a lot tomorrow, just because of how cluttered that midfield is. They're going to have the Bukayo Saka treatment of having 3 players press them, immediately. So, what do you guys think of score predictions? I'm gonna go with a 1-1 draw. I think we're gonna see some rotation. Arteta's gonna go with some rotation. I know Ari likes to do the football manager rotation lineups every once in a while, but I do think that Arteta is gonna do some rotation. I think Nwaneri might get a start tomorrow, or at least feature heavily tomorrow. I think Sterling is going to be there tomorrow. So I am going to go 1-1. I do think Sterling's going to get a goal tomorrow. I think Sterling's going to get his first Arsenal goal. But the way that Lookman's been looking this season, I think Lookman's going to get the goal for Atalanta, and I think we're going to see a 1-1 draw. But hoping for the Gunners win as per usual, and hopefully I'm not stuck at work and I can't watch it. But anyway, what do you guys think? Sammy, what do you guys think? What do you think the result's going to be tomorrow?
I'm going to go 2-1 to Arsenal. But I can see the 1-1. I think that's good. And we've seen a lot of teams struggling. I just saw PSG just won in the last minute for this game. So I think 2-1 is fair. And hopefully we come out with a strong offense. And, there's certain players that play left back aren't starting or playing at all. So, Zinchenko.
Zinchenko.
So, Michael, he just put out an autobiography.
Great.
I already pre-ordered it.
What is it? Is it how to get silver 3 in CS:GO? Is that what his autobiography is?
It was talking about how he went from playing semi-professional soccer to being at the 2 biggest clubs in the world, unlike some of us here. Actually, unlike none of us here.
None of us here. My soccer career ended before it even began.
He thinks he's in Football Manager right now.
Also, I'm saying.
All right, what do you think your score prediction is going to be?
I think it'll be 2-1 us. I think we will concede just because of the state, just because of the, the aura of Champions League is intimidating. I feel like it'll cause us to make a mistake. Maybe we're not as organized as we usually come out, and maybe it'll take us 10, 15, 20 minutes to get into the game. I feel like, but I think it'll be 2-1 us. Who are my scorers? Who are my goal scorers? I want to say Kai. I don't think we'll heavily rotate. I think we'll play a very strong squad just because it's our Champions League opener.
Well, the reason why I'm saying about the rotation is because of this fixture that's coming up on Sunday that we're going to talk about here in a second. Yeah. But that was just my outlook towards it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like even with Odegaard, even the City fixture, I feel like it'll be hard. I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, we do have a lot of depth, so I could see him rotating, but at the same time, I think every time I've thought that he's gonna rotate for cup fixtures, he never does. So I think we'll still see a very strong squad. I think we'll see the same back 4 with Raya. Maybe Neto in goal, but I think it'll still be Raya, and then I think we'll see the same midfield, maybe with a feature of Nwaneri. And then he'll probably cycle the wingers and Jesus in. So, but I think Saka will still start, obviously, and I think Kai will still play. I don't think that this fixture midweek. Obviously, our players are still pretty young, so they'll have quick recovery time. It's not like they'll need excessive amounts of time to recover. And with the facilities and the doctors and the physios they have now, recovery is just so much faster and so much easier. So I think we'll still see a pretty strong lineup, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Sunday. Sunday's a big day. We have the current champions of Europe they won last season, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Current champions of Europe, current champions of England, going up against the runners-up of England in Arsenal. And they're in the middle of a huge legal battle and a huge court dates and court proceedings, whereas Arsenal's just focused on who's going to feed win for the week. So, who do you guys think is going to come out? How do you think this fixture on this Sunday is going to play out? As this could ultimately be a title deciding fixture. So, Ari, how are you feeling coming up to Sunday?
Like I said, with Odegaard out, I do feel like he's very, very important to our structure and the way we press and the way we want to play and our ball retention. As much as I bag on him, he's obviously an excellent player for us, and he's very important. So I'm struggling to see how we'll get a result without him. I mean, even watching us at the weekend against Spurs, and the commentator spoke on it a bit. You see how City dominates every single match, and it's very, very decisive. Like it's clear that they're going to win every single game. But with us, you don't really get the same feeling. Like sometimes it looks like we'll nick a victory, but it's not always guaranteed or certain. And I think that's the difference between us and City at the moment, is that they're still a level or two above us, and the fact that they will always play to win, and when they are playing to win, they're unstoppable. I don't think anyone can really stop them. But with us, I feel like we do lack that threat outside of Saka. I think we still struggle to find a way to score outside of Saka, and we found ways to unlock that, obviously, like we've been talking about with set pieces. But from open play, I feel like we need another threat besides Saka, and we just haven't had that. So I think it'll be a tough fixture. I think we play. Are we at home or are we at the Etihad?
It is Manchester City versus Arsenal, so we are at the Etihad this weekend.
I think we play for a draw. I think we play for a single point. I doubt we come out to win, because I can't see it. But who knows? Anything can happen. So
anything can happen, indeed. Sammy, how you feeling?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty nervous for this one compared to last season. I just feel like Haaland is back in his form that he had the first season. And you just look at FootMob or any app and you see Haaland hat trick again. I'm like, bro, like, what is?
Who's stopping this guy?
Yeah.
It's not me. But yeah, like I already said, I feel like we need like not a more serious goal threat, but like a goal threat that's constant without Saka as well. I feel like we struggled with that last season, and we're like, oh, Saka's had his thinker, he's limping, and like who's stepping up? And it's not Jesus, because he's going to dribble around everyone, and
like it's sure as hell not the ghost. Like that guy's not doing anything
at some point, but like you can't put everything on him, man. Like he's just one guy.
I know, Kai Havertz is just one guy, just like Erling Haaland's just one guy.
He's arguably two with how big he is. So
yeah, valid. And Erling Haaland, I think, is like half AI as well. So
yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a close game, like it always is when we play against him, and I'm hoping that this time around we bring more energy to them, and then we don't really start on the back foot. Rather.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Maybe I'm delusional.
Well, yeah.
Maybe I'm delusional, and that kind of seems to be the pattern with me. But I think we actually are gonna win this Sunday. looking at Man City this season compared to last season, I don't think they're as strong. I think that Haaland is obviously a beast. I think there's no denying that. Um, I think the past 3 seasons that he's been with City, 2 or 3 that he's been with City, I've always said that he's just been on fraud watch. Like he starts off really hot, he tapers off, and then at the end of the season when they need him, he comes back. Right. This season it feels like we're watching Aguero playing for City again. Like he is bagging everything at this point, and not just tap-ins like how we're used to seeing him from previous seasons. But with that being said, Man City's back line looks atrocious. Ederson looks atrocious. Many errors already this season, and we're only going into match day 5. The midfield bar De Bruyne is looking a little weak. We're seeing Kovacic is looking a little lost in certain areas, stuff like that. It's just like Man City's attack. It's actually kind of reminding me of like the Arsenal of previous years, where the attack was like the Rolls Royce, and then Mustafi was our captain. So it was just like, we had the Ferrari, but with the Honda Civic engine in it. You know what I mean? So it was like, that's why but the only difference is they had a better, Man City has a great coach. Pep Guardiola is the best in the world. I will always say that. I think so much. I genuinely think he's the best that maybe ever to do it, and better than Ferguson. Like I'll say that. I'll say it at that. Better than Wenger. I'll say it with that as well, just because of how much he's accomplished. And I think if you don't think that, I think you're being a little too biased. I love Arsenal as much as everybody else does, but Pep has literally accomplished everything bar the World Cup, and like international duty. Which I'm sure that's going to be his next venture. But they don't scare me like how they did last season. I was more scared of Spurs than I am them. And I think it shows a little bit, just Spurs has a little bit more promise than what I'm seeing from Man City. Now I'm seeing I saw Ari react to that statement in an interesting way. But that's just how I feel about it. And I don't know, again, like I said, maybe I'm just delusional. But yeah, I just think we're going to be the better team. I think at minimum it's a draw, but I do think we get the win. I think missing Odegaard and I think this would have been a great game again for Marino as well and Calafiori, and we're not going to see them, which is heartbreaking. But it is what it is. Let's talk about our score predictions, and we'll kind of wrap things up. Sammy, what you feeling?
I am feeling a 1-0 victory for the Arsenal.
Oh, okay.
Just like last season, I think we played against them really well, and it'll just come down to how we really treat it at the end, and that determination whether we want to keep winning or whether we just want to be like, all right, that's good, like settling for the draw as we have in like past competitions.
Mm-hmm.
But,
that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. All right.
I think it'll be 0-0. If anything, it'll be 1-0 City, or 2-0 City. But I don't know. I'm not feeling too confident about this one. But I don't know. I think what you said about City not looking as good is because they've been without Rodri, because he was just coming back from winning the Euros, so he was on holiday still, and then they haven't really been playing Foden. I think he was ill, or he's been dealing with something. I don't know, but he hasn't been playing as he hasn't been featuring like every single game. And I think with the reintroduction of Gundogan, that obviously brings a lot to them. And Savio has looked very, very good for them as well. So I feel like they've been without their main midfield engines in Foden and Rodri. And I think if they're back for this weekend, I think we'll see a much different City side. So I'm gonna go 0-0 as the optimistic viewpoint, and pessimistically, I'd say 2-0 to City, just because we're at the Etihad, and I don't know, Holland's just looking unstoppable. So,
all right, I'll have the optimistic outlook on the game, I guess. I'm gonna counter your point there. Man City fans, all they do is brag about their depth. So if they're without Rodri and Foden and all them, shouldn't they be good enough to look just as good without them? Because
they are.
I don't think they are. I don't think they are.
What do you mean? They've been winning convincingly every single game.
Convincingly? It was 2-1
Yes.
against Brentford yesterday. Or whenever they played. 2-1 against Brentford. They conceded in the first minute.
Did you watch the game though? Like they had so many.
Game. Of course, I didn't watch the game. I don't give a fuck.
They had so many chances. They had so many chances. They should have finished. So
I don't
many
know.
times.
I'm gonna be optimistic. We're in the empty had. I think their support is disgusting, and I don't know. I'm gonna say 3-1 to the Arsenal. I think Kai's gonna bag 2, and then we're gonna see. I always say the new guys get a goal, but like I said, I already think Sterling. Oh no! Further, Sterling is gonna score for the script. For the script.
For the script against his former club.
And he's gonna reverse Adebayor them, and he's gonna sprint the whole length of the pitch and then double knee slide in front of Pep. That's what Sterling's gonna do. He's not gonna do that. He's not gonna do that. But no, I would think a 3-1 to the Arsenal. You can call me delusional, but when Sunday comes along, we do our post match and everyone's celebrating. I can just be like, "Told you so. Told you so." But with that being said. I did have the Venmo to the Gooners versus Cancer charities on the screen for the whole time. If you guys, again, we are still supporting the NYC Cannon Cup, and we are trying to support 2 amazing causes. If you guys have any spare change that you'd like to donate, the Venmo links are here. They will be down in the description for the remainder of the time before the Cannon Cup. And like I said, just make sure to go check out the beginning of last podcast. If you don't know what we're talking about, we introduced the NYC Cannon Cup and Patrick and what they're standing for, and it's a great cause, and I really think you guys should go check it out and be excited for the event when it comes out on October 12th. If you guys want to meet the boys, we'll be there. If you guys want to see some great media coverage, I'm sure it'll be coming out soon after. So,
you want to ask Ari what's wrong with him for supporting Zinchenko? You can live.
Yes, you can. You can.
That's my goat.
All right. Anything you guys want to add before we come on, you Gooners?
I just want to say that I ordered a Zinchenko kit and it didn't come. It got lost in transit.
I think that's a sign.
I ordered another one and it should be coming soon. So you guys will see Zinchenko on the back of our away kit as soon as it arrives.
Oh, did you get an away kit this time?
That's the black one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the original one. You did the home.
No, I did the away.
Oh, okay. Anyways, anything else?
Also we keep releasing new merch and it's fire. We just keep releasing new. We're the best club at releasing merch. I just want to buy everything. It's so scary.
Sammy, do you want to plug your nonprofit?
Yeah. Go check out Fossil Free Football, everyone. We're on LinkedIn. I will send Mark the link as well to our website and all the research. Just want to make the game more sustainable, and maybe if Man City didn't have a whole country supporting them, we could do something. But regardless, Arsenal also has Emirates as a sponsor, so
yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. All right. With that being said, as always, we will see you guys technically tonight for the post-match reaction to the Atalanta game, if we're all available. Hopefully we are, because we have been smashing new goals this season. Our last post-match is almost at 600 views, which is the most video viewed to date on YouTube. We've been averaging almost 1,000 views on TikTok and Instagram, which is insane to us. So thank you guys so much for the support. But also make sure you're subscribing and listening on Spotify too. We have a 100% 5-star rating as well. Yo, lads, we're killing it. We're killing it. And it couldn't be possible without you guys. So as always, everyone, come on, you Gunners.